So you run the LinkedIn influencers.
That's right.
I want to know what the big guys are saying about this watch.
Well, I think, first of all, they're saying a lot of things. Number one, you heard Tim Cook talk a little bit about this is the most personal device they've ever created. This idea of your personal data is a very big idea. What happens now that Apple knows so much about you? What happens to that data? David Kirkpatrick, one of the influencers, wrote a great piece last night saying this is a luxury device, and what Apple is good at is creating luxury for the masses. They basically gave a smartphone that everyone can have. My smartphone is as good as Elon Musk's smartphone, but the watch is different. They are saying if you buy a $10,000 watch, you'll have this amazing experience. It's beautiful. The aluminum, sits on your wrist nicely, and that's not the way Apple typically plays the game. What does it mean that they're getting into this very high-end business, and how will it play out? A lot of questions about that. A lot of influencers saying, don't buy this watch right now. Wait till
really?
the
Why?
version.
Why is that? Oh, because there's so many snags?
It's gonna, it's not going to work well. And how do you upgrade it? Is it even upgradable?
Right.
It's unclear.
Yeah, that was always my question: is the upgrade cycle, right? We do that with our iPhones, we do it with our MacBooks. Is that a concern that all of a sudden what people will buy now will be obsolete in a few years?
Absolutely, yeah. And you're not seeing what you didn't hear today was anything about how long they expect this to last. When they obviously wouldn't say what the upgrade cycle is. But I mean, this is a watch that maybe at best will get 18 hours a day in a single charge. What's going to happen when the next one has a much better battery life? You're going to give this thing back for $400. Are the carriers going to subsidize this? That doesn't look likely. So who's going to buy this watch?
That's a good question. And you were raising the point about how it's now a luxury market. The gold watch, you could argue, is more of a fashion statement.
Right.
I mean, are you hearing different types of people talking about the Apple Watch on LinkedIn?
Yeah. So we've had 170 posts in the last week alone on the Apple Watch. These are just members writing about what's going on. We've had 1,200 since September. People are very curious about this, but the feelings basically are on either side of the spectrum. Some people are Apple fans and they are ready to buy. There are a lot of marketers talking about how are they going to market on the face of the watch. This will change how you do marketing. And a lot of people saying, this is my data. I don't want Apple having it, and I don't want to be stuck with something that looks beautiful and becomes non-functional in 6 months.
The other news that we did hear that we haven't talked about yet is HBO going to partner with Apple TV, so you can kind of get your own HBO app on Apple TV. Did people seem to care about that?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen anything today about that, but people care deeply about being able to do over-the-top TV. That's something that we get posts about a lot. There is this idea of cord cutting. How are you going to do it? And Apple just announced they're going to make it much easier. The other interesting post I thought was Carlos Ghosn, the CEO of Nissan, wrote at the end of last week. He just came back from the Geneva Auto Show and said that the question he got asked most often was, how is he feeling about the Apple car?
Really?
So not the Apple Watch, the Apple car, and his point of view was great. And if you think about what David Kirkpatrick said, which is Apple takes big ideas and they spread them to the world. The Apple car fits that mold more than the watch. This idea of if Apple can come through with a car, and I know I'm already on to Apple's next announcement, but if they can come through with a car that is for the masses but does incredible things, that will change the face of the auto industry. And so Carlos Ghosn is saying that's great. He doesn't see it as a competitor. Bring it on.
So does he see an actual car that Apple makes, or does he see a car that Nissan makes that Apple has control of all the guts inside and the technology?
He's not saying exactly what's going on, but he's saying that whatever they do, he's fine as long as it ties in with the zero-emission idea. And he doesn't believe Apple will do a car that isn't zero-emission or friendly to the environment. I think that's probably what everyone agrees, if they're going to go the car route. If not, if it's just the guts of the car, different story.
And you heard anything really quickly on the research kit with Apple announced today, that's sort of giving over your medical information online? Anyone scared about privacy there, or that hasn't come up yet?
So far what you're seeing are people in the medical world saying this is great, the more information you have, the better. But we always see doctors writing saying, it's terrifying when you have patients coming in saying, here's a report I read over, WebMD, here's the information that I just got from my smartwatch. Am I dying, doctor?